and marketing in the country. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
The World Health Organization (WHO) has revealed that food contamination is a significant factor contributing to health-related challenges worldwide. Investigation reveals that the food safety enforcement in Nigeria has been fragmented, with many operators unaware of basic hygiene protocols and enforcement officers lacking a cohesive framework. The positive news is that the federal government has introduced guidelines for the hygiene and inspection of processed food in the country. The document outlines directives for food business operators regarding proper food handling.
As the supervising ministry, we are committed to translating this manual into real-world action.
This operational manual has been meticulously developed in response to a critical gap identified by NICFOS, which is the absence of standardized guidance.
This landmark document is a timely and strategic step forward in our national effort to ensure safety, hygiene, nutritional integrity of food consumed.
The implementation of this operational manual makes a significant step toward safeguarding public health, maintaining food hygiene in local bukas.
To this end, the government has stated that it will rigorously enforce the law against food adulteration, emphasizing that food safety is a collective responsibility that begins on the farm and ends at the consumer's table. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, wants Nigerians to use social media as a tool for unifying and promoting values that could promote the country's development. The minister was a guest speaker at the 2025 edition of TEDx for Abuja Youth, organized by Nigerian Tulip International College, Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
At the 2025 edition of the show at this school, the inspiring life experience of Nigeria's Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, on how he successfully nurtured his career at the young age of 16, caught the attention of both the old and the young minds who are aspiring to build a passion.
The birth of the digital world also brought about the birth of the era of great misinformation, fake news, and disinformation. And therefore, that dream of becoming an instant broadcaster at age 16, and now as Nigeria's Minister of Information and National Orientation, I thought that I could use my valuable position to change things.
Now that his dream comes to pass as a media entrepreneur and the chief spokesman of Nigeria, he reassured this younger generation that policies under his watch are those that will promote sanity in the media ecosystem.
The social media especially can both be a unifier and also an agent of destruction, depending on how you use it. We want everyone to use the social media especially, which has come to stay, by the way, as a tool for unifying all of us.
This year's theme is passion, and the aim is for the driving forces behind great ideas, the courage to pursue them, and the impact of relentless dedication on personal and societal transformation.
TED is an acronym of Technology, Entertainment and Design, an American-Canadian non-profit media organization that shares educational and inspiring ideas with people worldwide in order to effect positive change in society. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Let's look at health. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pati, says the present administration is supporting local medical manufacturing to meet the health needs of Nigerians. The health minister stated this while inaugurating an indigenous medical factory in Ogun State. He describes the facility as a strategic leap in the effort to strengthen Nigeria's health security through local production of rapid diagnostic test kits, crediting such achievement to President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for placing health at the heart of national development, and commended the efforts being made to industrialize healthcare, improve regulation and grow local capacity.
That are here, while not limiting to those that are here, allowing those who can come to Nigeria and produce.
He emphasized that the federal government remains committed to supporting local manufacturers, aligning with the Nigeria Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative. The federal government has expressed the resolve to open up all roads within the economic corridors of the country. While inspecting the ongoing construction within the Mararaba-Kefi axis of Kefi Enugu Dual Carriageway, Minister of Works for State Bello Mohammed Goronyo commended the 42% work done so far. Let's hear from Kenneth Inanim.
The Section 3 of Lafayette Enugu Dual Carriageway, which is the Mararaba-Kefi axis, was awarded in June 2023, and it is 87.3 kilometers in length, both bands put together. Having been given a 30-month completion timeline, Minister of Works for State, Bello Mohammed Goronyo, set out for an inspection. He appears satisfied and discloses plans by the federal government to ensure that the project is completed and inaugurated.
It is going to be completed along with other projects that are ongoing across this corridor, so that at the end of June 2026, Mr. President, by the special grace of God, will come and commission this very laudable project for Nigerians. We have opened a corridor for economy, for movement of goods and services, and of course by extension reducing travel time.
This road is heavily trafficked, so there are challenges controlling the traffic, especially in built-up areas. We collaborate with the road safety and other law enforcement agents to help in managing the traffic situation.
We're lacking of just the cash to finish this project.
As a Sukuk-funded project, the minister explains that money is already at hand and there will be no delay in payment as soon as all requirements are met regarding job certification. Kenneth Nadim, NTA News.
The Northern State Governors Forum has declared its support for the creation of state police and urged the National Assembly to expedite action to ensure its implementation. The chairman of 19 Northern Governors, Inuwa Yahaya, disclosed this while reading part of the resolutions at the end of the forum's meeting with traditional leaders in Kaduna.
It is late at night, but the urgency of the moment requires no sleep, driven by a common purpose to strategize and confront the growing threat of insecurity. The governors of the Northwest arrived one after the other at the Government House Kaduna for another meeting. As they step into the meeting room, they stand together, reciting the national pledge for commitment to Nigeria's peace and progress before delving into the business of the day.
As governors in this region, and we agreed to work together and to collaborate in different areas, especially in terms of economic development, agricultural initiatives, as well as fight against the insecurity. This is a forum that focuses attention on economic development and prosperity of our people, and I will continue to pursue that agenda.
Issue of unemployment, and most importantly, our collective resolve to have a position on how we can work closely together in addressing the problem of insecurity, because we believe no state can do it alone. And we believe we will need synergy for us to work together. And another area that we believe we need to work together is trying to work closely with the different partners.
The forum was born out of their collective resolve to face their shared challenges with unity. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajingi, NTA News.
The Ministry of Police Affairs and the Police Service Commission are strengthening ties to support the Nigeria Police Force in delivering a more efficient accountable and citizen-focused policing system. Francis Pham reports that the chairman of the Police Service Commission, Ashimu Arugungu, commended the collaboration, describing it as a vital step towards building a more effective synergy between the two government agencies.
Process of recruitment or employment enlistment is faulty. Automatically, the product of what you are going will be faulty too. So this is one of the problems here. We have to put head together and resolve and do the necessary things.
Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Police Affairs, Dr. Ogbonnaya Anuma, highlighted the need to align police recruitment and training with the realities of modern-day policing. He called for a transparent and merit-driven career progression system alongside fair and firm measures in addressing police misconduct.
Ensuring that the process for enlisting capable and ethical individuals into the police force is seamless and aligned with the needs of modern policing.
Dr. Anuma further emphasized the importance of joint police policy formulation aimed at enhancing operational efficiency, strengthening accountability, and upholding human rights. Kano State Government says it will provide all the necessary infrastructure and the needed manpower for the commencement of medical and allied health sciences programs at Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology, Wudil. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf announced this during the 5th combined convocation ceremony of the university. Abdullahi Mustafa has more for us.
It was a historic moment of celebration for the management, staff and students of Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology, Wudil, as the institution marked its 25th anniversary. The event also featured the graduation of 18,000 students who completed various first and higher degree programs in science and engineering disciplines. It was a dual celebration honoring both academic achievements and significant research milestones over the years. A recognition of outstanding contributions to national development, honorary doctorate degrees were conferred on the university's founder, Rabi Musa Konkoso, along with 4 other distinguished Nigerians. Governor Abakabir Yusuf enumerated various infrastructural development projects completed over the past 2 years and reaffirmed his administration's commitment to supporting the introduction of new academic programs.
As proposed by the Senate of this university, I have also pledged to construct the Faculty of Medical Sciences within the campus of the university. Highlight of the ceremony was the installation of the reappointed Chancellor Aliko Dangote, who unveiled a 5-year development plan for the university. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The federal government, through the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children, is working on a strategic framework for data capturing and mapping exercise. Now, this is part of efforts the stakeholders are making to tackle the growing challenges of out-of-school children and improve access to quality education in the country. Shehu Adamu reports that the goal is to identify, document and reintegrate millions of children currently out of school, particularly those in the Almajiri system.
The engagement aims to align state-level strategies with the Commission's national vision of reducing the number of out-of-school children, particularly those in the Almajiri system.
So we are going to take advantage of what the technology is bringing to us. We are going to take advantage of the political will.
We have successfully mopped up 22,307 children in July 2024. This is exactly why the Executive Secretary felt that there is need for this newly recruited staff to learn from past experiences.
Participants will oversee the data mopping exercise, identifying vulnerable children and coordinate grassroots reintegration efforts.
The training was really insightful. It really opened a lot of doors and avenues for understanding on how to manage the situations. And
Friend state team leaders now in place, the Commission says it is ready to take the campaign against educational inclusion to every corner of Nigeria.
The mandate of the Commission allows us to set up schools. So in the near future, very quickly, you will see that we have set up our own schools, or at least we start with learning centers.
With the commitment of the federal government and strategic grassroots planning, the Commission says no child will be left behind. In Kano, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
And NTA News for Indian pilgrims. The Embassy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is assuring the Nigerian contingent for this year's Hajj that their safety and comfort are guaranteed throughout the Hajj season. Head of the embassy, Dr. Ibrahim Modibo Umar, gave the assurance while formally welcoming the Nigerian inaugural flight at the Prince bin Abdulaziz International Airport, Medina. Jamilu Ibrahim reports.
The Nigerian inaugural flight for this year's Hajj, which took off from Owerri, Imo State, safely landed at the Prince Muhammad ibn Abdulaziz International Airport, Medina. On hand to receive the pilgrims were officials of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria and those of the Nigerian Embassy in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The Nigerian ambassador in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, who addressed the pilgrims, enjoins them to be law-abiding.
Good news about this year is that the temperature is going to be a bit cooler, unlike last year. So inshallah, we expect the Hajj to be very smooth.
The more than 300 pilgrims that boarded the inaugural flight are from Imo, Abia, and Bayelsa states.
The journey was fantastic. One of the most seamless journeys I've undertook, and I really commend the Nigerian government and the National Hajj Commission for doing a fantastic job.
It was fantastic. In fact, I'm highly delighted, so happy. Today, I'm among the people that comes to Medina. Alhamdulillah.
Meanwhile, other flights that conveyed the Nigerian pilgrims from Bauchi, Kebbi, Osun and Niger states have also arrived safely in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the pilgrims were warmly received with flowers in their respective hotels. From the holy city of Medina in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll begin our conversation on energizing river basin development for food security. Please stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. In achieving the presidential priority areas for food security, there must be a deliberate commitment to expanding irrigated farms across all the river basin development areas. Now, the Ministry of Water Resources says this will in turn encourage farmers in river basin communities to engage in all-season farming for increased food production. In this report, Usman Zubairu takes a look at the possible ways of energizing river basin development authorities for food security.
Concerns about sustainable food production in Nigeria after the Sahel drought of the early 1970s and a decline in agricultural output following Nigeria's oil boom led to idea about investing in sustainable food production and managing water resources. Plans were then developed which led to the creation of river basin development authorities in the early 70s. These river basins were aimed to address concerns about food security, developing and managing water resources for various purposes, including irrigation, flood control, and provision of water for domestic and industrial uses. However, operations of the authorities have been hampered by Nigeria's economic and political changes. Their impact has been minimal, coupled with inadequate funding.
Be able to accelerate so that we can feed ourselves. And the only way we can do that is to develop irrigation more.
On its part, the Federal Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation said government has approved the expansion of river basin to meet demands of Nigerians.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is paused in delivering the dividends of democracy to Nigerians. And one of the key cardinals of his own administration is to make food available to improve the economy of this country and create jobs for women and our teeming population.
The Minister of Water Resources, under the presidential mandate of Renewed Hope Agenda, has also undertaken several interventions to enhance the capacity and operation of the 12 river basins that include inauguration of Oda Ife Dam in Kaba, Kogi State, Rafin Yashi Dam in Niger State, and expansion of 2,000 hectares of irrigation scheme in Dadunkuwa Dam to deliver 500 irrigable lands. Several flagship programs were also introduced: partial commercialization of river basin, Songhai integrated model of farming, graduate and youth empowerment program, and river basin strategy for poverty alleviation, among others. With the coming of new board chairman and managing directors of the 12 river basins, Nigerians are hoping for a robust mechanism that will revolutionize farming sector and guarantee food security of the nation. Osman Zberu, NTA News.
The federal government has injected billions of naira into the Benin-Owena River Basin Development Authority since its inception in 1976 through budgetary allocation projects like the construction of the central pivot irrigation system in Obayanto, Edo State, which was made possible in 2022. Obehi Apreze has details on the impact of the federal government's agricultural development support for farmers in the region.
The Benin-Owena River Basin Development Authority, BOBDA, which covers Edo, Delta North Central Zone, Ekiti and Ondo states, develops and manages water resources for integrated farming, agricultural support, hydropower generation and domestic use.
The farmers have benefited from the authority by we giving them subsidized land at subsidized rate. 1 hectare of land goes, initially it was for 10,000, but now we are giving 15,000. There is no way you can get that if you are looking for arable land for cultivation.
In all these places, we have dams that we are practicing fish farming. We have a poultry. We have a piggery as well.
In Edo State alone, over 100 farmers take advantage of the subsidized farming facility provided by the federal government through BOBDA to cultivate watermelon, pumpkin, tomatoes, and livestock practices all year round. In the past year, however, this success story has been marred by insecurity and vandalism.
We are pledging to the federal government and the state in collaboration with Owena River Basin to help us secure the farmland for food, surplus for the nation.
We are fully ready to ensure that we look for investors, to ensure that we have development partners, to partner with quite a lot of investors on food security.
To further drive the food sufficiency agenda, the Edo State government recently reached a partnership agreement with the management of BOBDA. In Benin, Obehi Apreze, NTA News.
All right, let's bring in our guests to expand the discourse. We have in the studio Engineer Adache James. He's the Deputy Director, River Basin Operations and Inspectorate Department from the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation. Thank you for joining us, Engineer James.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, you're aware, and Nigerians are aware, that food security is the top priority for the present administration. But experts are saying to achieve that, you have to expand, irrigated farming across the country. How much impact, is the revitalization effort of the river basins across the regions, going to have in food production?
First and foremost, I would like to explain what a river basin development is. River basin development refers to a coordinated planning and management of water, land, and other natural resources. To within a defined hydrological boundary, which is referred to as river basins. And river basin development is important because it enables rural development, food production, erosion control, water supply, which enables, all this add up to economic development of a nation.
Okay, and I also asked the question of the revitalization effort, how that would change the narrative to boost food production.
Yes, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, through the River Basin Development Authorities, has put up mechanisms so as to support the food security agenda of the federal government in the following ways. One, expansion of irrigable land and revitalization of irrigation schemes in the country. And with all this being in place, it will enhance food production, and the agenda of Mr. President will be achieved through this.
Okay, so share with us some of the challenges the River Basin authorities are dealing with in navigating, some of the hindrances that, when the aspect of ensuring this optimal productivity we're talking about in the aspect of food production across the regions. What are the challenges you're dealing with?
The River Basin Development Authorities, over times, have faced a lot of challenges. And some of these challenges includes land dispute, encroachment by the host communities, and inability of the River Basin authorities, or difficulty in obtaining the certificate of occupancies of River Basin Development Authorities' own lands from the state government. So these are some of the challenges faced by the River Basin Development Authorities.
So what role can community play in the aspect of community engagement, and also at the subnationals, the synergy? What is it like with the state government?
The River Basin Authorities, River Basin Development Authorities are supposed to carry the host communities along in the day-to-day activities of the river basins, so that there will be harmonious coexistence between the river basins and the host community. And two, the state government, the River Basin Development Authorities can liaise with the state governments by sensitizing the host communities on the importance of what the river basins are into. And by doing that, it will go a long way in giving an enabling environment for the River Basin Development Authorities to achieve its mandate.
All right, Engineer James, we'll continue with the conversation. We have to take a break. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us. Hadija Jamari River Basin Development Authority says it has set aside 250 hectares of arable land for all year-round farming in Kano, Jigawa and Bauchi states. Now, this is in line with the present administration's renewed hope agenda of empowering farmers to produce enough food for both domestic consumption and export. Yohana Suhasan Barau will tell us more.
For decades, the Hadija Jama'are River Basin Development Authority has been a lifeline for thousands of farmers in Kano, Jigawa and Bauchi states and surrounding areas. As the nation strives for food security, revitalizing the sector is essential for boosting agricultural production. Despite its potential, many farmers still face water shortages, threatening their productivity. To address these challenges, the federal government has rehabilitated dams, expanded irrigation networks, and trained the farmers on modern farming. This is in addition to allowing them have ownership of some of the facilities.
So Mr. President has given us the marching order to see whatever we can do to introduce new techniques, new technologies into this, into farming, especially irrigation. We are going to deploy solar pumps, heavy industrial boreholes, and also when you come to small tools that farmers will be using instead of the traditional, we know that is hoe and small archaic tools that we have been using.
For many farmers, these efforts are already making a difference, transforming dry fields into green productive farmlands. In addition, delegations from within and outside Nigeria paid a visit to the sites to interact with the farmers to monitor the successes recorded and profile solutions to their problems.
We will also explore other new initiatives in irrigation, especially greenhouse agriculture, hydroponics, and we are going to promote a pet project of Abraham a garden. We are also going to promote that, so that at the end of the year, we'll have a number of farmers being empowered and also increase the kind of food we produce.
With these efforts put in place, farmers under the scheme are poised to experience increased yield, potentially leading to biennial harvest and improved livelihood. In Kano, Yahana Hassan Barrow, NTA News.
All right, Engineer James, from that report, of course, that's a sneak peek into some of the successes recorded, by the Ministry of Water Resources in the aspect of opening new areas, settling disputes, and of course, enhancing, which has helped in enhancing food production. Can you tell us the impact this has had on communities?
Yes. The Minister of Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, on assumption of office, stepped into the issue of land disputes between the host community of River Basin Development Authorities by ensuring that all land encroachment and disputes are put to rest so that the River Basin Development Authorities can carry out their mandate effectively in the area of food production, water supply, flood control, and mitigation. The ministry does this by setting up a committee to sensitize the host communities on the importance of living harmoniously with the management of the River Basin Development Authorities, and also liaising with the state government to ensure that the certificate of occupancy of all the River Basin Development Authorities' own land are obtained so that they will be able to stand and then develop their land effectively.
Okay, what about some of the flagship programs that was implemented by the River Basin Authority, like the Songay Integrated, I've forgotten the farming model, yes, Songay Integrated Farming Model, and of course the one for the youth empowerment and poverty reduction. How much impact would you say this has had on communities?
The Songay Integrated Farming Scheme is a farming model which nothing is wasted. And most of the River Basin Development, the 12 River Basin Development Authorities has been able to set up a Songay Integrated Farming Scheme in their river basins. And by doing this, they go into different types of food. They embark on production, animal husbandry, food production, crop production, and so many other things that will boost food production in the country. And the Songay Integrated Farming Scheme too, they adopt, they also embark on the training of young farmers, which at the end of the day, the young graduates and the youth are empowered with inputs, with a starter pack, which they can start their own farm on their own. This gives room for job creation to all these teeming youth that doesn't have any source of livelihood today.
And one aspect that is critical if we must have this irrigated farming, also addressing the issue of climate resilience, building climate resilience across communities. Are there strategies the River Basin will adopt to, help build this resilience?
Some of the strategies that the River Basin authorities will imbibe to ensure climate resilience in their basins is one, imbibing the spirit of a modern farming scheme, modern farming technology, which will help in reducing the impact of climate change in the river basin development authorities.
Okay, Engineer James,
Yes.
What are your expectations going forward? We're looking at futuristic development that the river basin will definitely. We just saw, you know, the expansion and the inauguration of the board, the governing board. What are the futuristic plans? Because expectations are high. What's your message?
The message with the inauguration of the board and the management of the river basin development authorities, the river basin development authorities are on course, and they are going to deliver on their mandate by putting into action all the necessary things that are required to boost food production in the country.
So what about the aspect of the Ministry of Water Resources? Because they play a crucial role.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The ministry, through the river basins, are putting strategies in place to ensure that the rural farmers have access to agricultural inputs and even water supply to enable them carry out irrigated farming. And just last quarter of last year, the Minister of Water Resources flagged off dry season farming to ensure that there will be all year round farming in the country to boost the food production in the country.
All right, I'm sure Nigerians are hopeful that there will be food sufficiency in the country when all of these are well implemented. Thank you very much, Engineer Adache James. Thank you for your time on Weekend File.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. On a global scene, India today, we hear, announced they had come to a ceasefire understanding with Pakistan on Saturday with immediate effect after days of exchange and fire. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri and Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar have both confirmed that both countries had agreed to a full-fledged and not partial ceasefire with immediate effect. Let's hear from Justin Bem Uye.
Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar had confirmed on GeoTV that the deal with India is a full-fledged ceasefire understanding between the countries. Reports have it that India and Pakistan have also activated military channels and hotlines following the deal, according to Dar. In the meantime, India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri says Pakistan's Directors General of Military Operations DGMO called Indian DGMO at 15:35 hours earlier this afternoon. It was agreed between them that both sides would stop all firing and military action on land and in the air and sea with effect from 17:00 hours Indian Standard Time. In other news, the leaders of Britain, France, Germany and Poland met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for talks in Kyiv on Saturday in a show of unity a day after Russia's Vladimir Putin hosted his allies at a Victory Day parade in Red Square. The summit will discuss a U.S. and European proposal for a 30-day ceasefire in the Russian war in Ukraine that, if refused by Moscow, would see them jointly impose new sanctions, a French diplomatic source said, adding that the step had not been finalized. The visit by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, and Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk is the first time the leaders of the four countries have traveled together to Ukraine. Justin Bem-Unyi, NTA News.
All right, let's do sports. Ayo Deji is set for us. Ayo,
oh, yes.
Interesting news. I'm hearing baseball is back in Nigeria after so many years.
You're absolutely correct. There is something in the offing here in the Federal Capital Territory and, of course, in Nigeria. By the way, you're welcome to the world of sports. Let's tell you that students from different secondary schools here in the Federal Capital Territory have been exposed to the rudiments of baseball in a deliberate attempt to revive the sport in the country. As Nigeria celebrates the 2025 World Baseball and Softball Day, experts in the sport align with internationally set goals to not only make the sport A-rated in the country, but also intensify the search for talents at the grassroots.
This unique sports, what happens is about desensitization and also to measure the milestone and the achievements recorded so far. Baseball is one of the greatest sporting events done all over the world, and you cannot go wrong building that capacity out of Nigeria. And that is exactly what we are doing today.
Most times in Nigeria, we aren't even experienced sports like this, so it will be a good way to learn more sports.
This is our first time being exposed to a program like this, and it was very enlightening because not many of us are familiar with the game. But we can see that it's a very interesting game, and some of us have picked interest and would want to play it more regularly.
Well, right, the venues are the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, where we actually have a baseball and a softball pitch there. For those who really want to explore more about it. Well, let's cross over to the world of tennis because American Danielle Collins completed a comprehensive straight set victory over defending champion Iga Swiatek in the third round of the Italian Open. Collins capitalized on the poor 7 display from the world number 2 to cruise into a 6-1-7-5 victory. This win is her second in 9 matches against the 5-time Grand Slam champion and first on clay. Swiatek had won the Italian Open in 3 of her past 4 seasons, but struggled for her best form in the run-up to this year's event in Rome. Now to the exciting world of the English Premier League. Manchester City's quest for qualification into the UEFA Champions League next season hit a low after a goalless draw against already relegated Southampton. Meanwhile, Kelvin Shade's 11th Premier League goal of the season proved enough to guide Brentford to a narrow 1-0 victory over Ipswich Town at Portman Road, ensuring the Bees can celebrate 4 consecutive top-flight victories for the first time since 1939. In other results, Fulham's European hopes were dealt another setback after Everton fought back to win 3-1 at Craven Cottage, just as Brighton secured a crucial 3 points in their pursuit of a top 8 finish in the Premier League. Let's cross over to Sunday, where Newcastle play Chelsea at the Sports Direct Arena. Manchester United welcome West Ham United to Old Trafford, and the marquee fixture is slated for Anfield, where champions Liverpool play Arsenal. I'm sure Ruth will be looking out for that match between Liverpool and Arsenal, but that's your sports. It's back to Ruth.
I thought you were going to say Manchester United.
Oh, well.
I will let it out, which is my team.
Oh, yeah.
But let's find out how weather for tomorrow will look like so we can enjoy the matches.
Thank you for joining us. Chances of thunderstorms are better later during the afternoon and evening hours of Sunday, and these storms will be accompanied by strong winds. For the morning hours, the coastal cities of Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and Rivers State are expected to experience thunderstorms. Partly cloudy to sunny spells are expected to other parts of the country. By afternoon and evening hours, the thunderstorm activities are expected to spread to the coastal and the inland cities of the south, while isolated cases are expected to parts of the FCT, Kogi, Niger, Plateau, Nasarawa, as well as parts of Adamawa, Taraba, Kaduna, Kebbi, and Sokoto states. As the forecast for Sunday, join us again.
All right, and just before we go, tomorrow, May 11th, is International Day of Eat What You Want. Sounds funny, right? Well, start your day by indulging in your favorite food without guilt, because I will. Embrace the freedom to satisfy your cravings without hesitation. After all, life, they say, is for the living, so spoil your family, friends, and colleagues with that local delicacy. But please, eat with moderation to avoid stomach upset. And that's Weekend File. Thank you for being part of another insightful episode of your Saturday Companion. I'm Ruth Aguele. Have a rewarding week ahead. Bye.